Hey friends, so I've been thinking, and I hope that's not a surprising statement to some of y'all because I am a thinker, I'm a thinker. I had a meeting on Monday where we were doing some strategic brainstorming on how ministry looks in a COVID world. And we do have to call it a COVID world, right? Not a post-COVID world, because we're not at the end of this, right? We're not at the end of this, and we don't know when we'll be at the end of this. So right now, what does ministry look like? And I think so many folks are just doing nothing because they're waiting for things to get back to normal, when really the harsh reality is that it'll never be what it was ever again, right? Because we can't just go backwards, and we just can't erase all of this. Things will probably never be the same again, and I know that freaks people out because the unknown can be terrifying, and that's fair, right? So we had this meeting to talk about what do we do now, and we came up with some really great ideas. We had great brainstorming, and even just for me, I got really inspired for what could be. But since that meeting, I can't stop thinking about how possible solutions for church in the Salvation Army looks going forward. And it felt like the ideas that I could formulate didn't really fit in a complete way, and I felt like I was kind of just, that old saying of trying to shove a round peg in a square hole. So then I thought maybe the solutions don't fit because we're trying to solve the wrong problem. And now please don't excommunicate me for saying this, but maybe we're just not supposed to be a church. And we know from our inception that we weren't really ever intended to be a church, that we're a movement, and those things are very different. But we became a church, and if we're totally honest, most of us don't church very well. The music and the preaching, and really especially the discipleship part of what we do, are lacking. And this isn't to say that we don't have a place in God's economy, because we do things as a movement that other traditional churches struggle even to do at a fraction of the impact that we have, right? But maybe it's time we get out of the church game. Maybe we function more as a parachurch movement, like plugging in hard with things like a Celebrate Recovery or a Weeknight Alpha course, or we use the service that we do in our communities as a springboard or an outlet for service for the local churches in our areas who do church in ways that we probably never will. Maybe we dig into the things that we do really well, and we give those things 100% of our effort, still very much with a heart for Jesus and a heart for the lost. And we just let the churchy churches church. I just think this is a conversation that we should be having. So let's talk about it, yeah? And if it's okay if you totally disagree, right? I'm used to that. Just don't be a jerk, yeah? Just don't be a jerk, because that's not allowed. But if you do disagree, maybe come with a solution of what we could do to make this work. Because really, even if we are in disagreement, I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'm really glad we get to do this together. So as we figure it out, friends, just thanks for all you're doing for the ministry and for Jesus and for the lost. And just keep going forward. He's with you, whatever that looks like.